Necromancer was my favorite class playing this game as a kid. And then I grew up and realized you have basically 3 builds to play and one of them requires insane amount of gear to be good. Since I haven't done any run with him yet, let's play Bone Necromancer and utilize Infernal tools set to clear the game. Let the challenge begins. Rules. Using Infernal tools set through the entire game, playing with Bone Necromancer build, using charms and sockets, run ends with killing Bale on hell difficulty. This is hardcore run, 1 life, no deaths. Infernal tools set is one of the earliest sets you can actually equip, and it is mainly tailored to be used by necromancers, thanks to the inclusion of plus to all necromancer skills. Main caveat of it is the fact it occupies weapon and helmet slots, thus preventing from getting 2 additional rune wards. Nevertheless, for level 5 it is actually insanely powerful and can easily carry you far into the game, for how little it asks from the character. Let's discuss the pieces and bonuses once I get to wear it. Although set requires only level 5 to wear, and that is no problem for wand and helmet, you actually cannot wear the belt on the same level without some additional strength bonuses, since it requires 45 strength, and you cannot simply get to that number at level 5 at Necromancer simply from the level ups. Since Bone Necro uses, as name suggests, bone skills, let's get Thief at level 2. I utterly and completely despise this skill. It looks cool, it should also work cool, but in reality it's just not hitting anything, and if it does, it is mostly tickling the monsters. Nevertheless, let's earn our keep and clear Den of Evil. And Corpse Fire was nice enough to get me a rare amulet, something I did not expect. With the additional skill point from Akara, I got myself a Bone Armor skill. It creates a shield that absorbs physical damage. Just before clubbing Bloodraven to death, I hit level 5, and with that I can wear Wand and Helmet from the set. Wand gives +1 to all Necromancer skills, and it also has some increased damage. 2 items bonus also gives attack rating based on character level. Helmet gives 10 to all resistances, and 20% of taken damage goes to mana. 2 item bonus gives defense based on character level. 2 set bonus gives absolutely the best and massive 8 poison damage over 3 seconds. Yeah, 8. One thing, and this is the only thing I like about Thief skill, is that if you have high rank of it, it can cover half of the screen with projectiles. Usually just hitting only couple of them, but still it looks nice. Level 6 brings Corpse Explosion, and well, it does exactly what it says. Explode the corpse. Deal massive amount of physical and fire damage. I am honestly doing more damage with melee swings than with my skills, and thanks to attack rating from the set, there is no issues with actually hitting stuff. Finally, I gathered enough attribute points to get my strength to 45, and thus able to wield the belt, completing the set. Belt by itself gives some defense and 20 flat life boost. 2 set bonus reduces freeze duration by half, and 3 set bonus gives 25% poison resistance. Whole set aside from previous poison damage provides +1 to all Necromancer skills, 20% attack rating, 6% mana stolen per hit, 20% chance to open wounds, and massive increased 20% maximum mana and cannot be frozen, making half freeze duration from the belt basically obsolete. So as you can see, even though the items are primarily tailored toward Necromancer, it is kind of all over the place with the set bonuses like chance for open wounds and attack rating. Actually, an amazing find that I cannot use, a Death Set Sash, one of the earliest items with cannot be frozen, and just several minutes later I also found a Claglow's shield. Not exactly what I wanted, but a Ral rune on the first run is quite rare. No, why do you do this to me, game? An amazing gold dagger when I cannot use any other weapon. Amazing, full stealth on the second Countess run. Aliza got squashed like a bug by the smith, so I returned the favor with my wand. Just before Andariel I hit level 12, and with that Bone Wall skill, which well, creates a bone wall. Also I took Clay Golem Summon, mainly for distraction and enemy slow. Once again, melee damage from the set is so high now that it is much more efficient to just do that instead of casting any spells at her. What is this? Kasim does not have Prayer Aura? That is unacceptable. Yeah, much better now. Let's get the necessary stuff out of the way and clear Radaman's Lair, and then of course get Horadric Cube. You know what? Doing Maggot Lair like this is a slog. Let's leave it for now and come back in a moment. So I quickly went to Claw Viper Temple, grabbed the amulet from them and did some leveling to first make and equip Stealth Armor, and then on level 18 grab the skill that will be used for the rest of the run. Bone Spear. Bone! What can I say, some of these skills are pretty self-explanatory. It launches a bone spear that pierces enemies dealing magic damage. With this, Maggot Lair is just joy to clear. Long corridors, so everything is funneled together, taking damage and crumbling like dominoes. Thanks to the set, I already have Bone Spear level 3, and Synergy from Thief gives me much more damage. The skill is one of the most powerful clearing tools in the game. The worst thing about both Thief and Bone Spear is its mana cost. You normally do not invest in energy, so running out of resources is frequent, but I can remediate that later. Clay Golem is an excellent distraction tool, allowing me to cast almost threat-free, thus making Duriel fight very easy at this point. First elite got me a Jade figurine for some additional health. Now make some shish kebab out of spiders and grab the eye from the chest. In real stroke of luck I got lightning resistance shrine just before facing Gloams in Great Marsh. And this is exactly why set weapons is so constraining. I could have this common one with 3 Bone Spear to it. In exchange for Gitbean, Ormus gave me quite crappy ring, and its only redeeming quality seems to be lightning resistance. Destroy the entire population of flayers, grab the brain, and then move to Ruin Temple and ruin it even more. Now just get the heart, move to Travincoal, and adjourn this council out of their lives. Oh my, while going through Durance of Hate, I found this Necromancer shield, that by itself gives +3 to Bone Spear. That gives just a massive amount of damage to already powerful skill. No comments here. At this point I am completely destroying everything, no matter what that is, and it's not really even the set power level, but it's just enhancing an already powerful setup. Mephisto took literally seconds to kill and dropped 2 good items, Duskdeep Helmet and amazing Sanders Boots. Magic is best type of damage in the game in my opinion. Rarely something has resistance to it, but on the same note there is also no way to decrease magic resistance of the enemies, aside from the Sunder Charm. As my mana pool dwindled and mana potions were absent, I had to resort to physical violence to finish Isual. Now to River of Flame to heal Hephasto, and receive the Ephraim from the Forge, so not great. So far I did not take a single curse skill. There is little to no need to have one, just because game does not offer any roadblocks to overcome at this point, so I don't have to avoid combat or break any resistances. There is none that can withstand my power. Not Grand Vizier, nor Lord Disease, not even Infector of Souls. Once again, resummon Golem when needed, and just far enough so I won't get hit by any Diablo spells. And just kill the guy. While I was rescuing barbarians in Frozen Highlands, I debated if there is any merit to create an Ancient Splendid shield, since I have Great One with 3 to Bone Spear. But for some reason I must have replaced my shield with something else in a stroke of pure stupidity, so my dilemma was cut out for me. Just before freeing Anya, I found an Amn rune, which would prove useful later on. Kill Frozenstein, unfreeze Anya, and with the scroll my resistances are practically maxed out. A classic Necromancer face-off. Who destroys corpses faster than one other? Well, it seems to be me. I don't want to say that Ancients didn't stand a chance, but yeah, they did not have a single shred of hope to win this fight. Let's wrap up normal. Every wave was decimated. Only Minions of Destruction stood a bit longer, but eventually even they crumbled under their own vanity. Bale was just a matter of time, so a lot of spamming Bone Spear and standing in place. On his death he dropped a unique amulet that I cannot wear, Atma's Scarab. Very weird drop for normal. My gear and setup for the end of normal. Although Infernal's toolset is still going good in Nightmare, this is the difficulty to actually replace it, mainly the weapon. You shall not pass! Now since Countess can drop Doll and Io runes in Nightmare, I could basically farm her and then shop for proper base and create a white wand, which is the best in-slot weapon for Bone Necro, and thus making my set basically obsolete, since there are far easier ways to get a Cannot Be Frozen. Moreover, I could also get a lore helmet at this point. That alone would get me +1 to all skills. One redeeming factor to set helmets are resistances, and that is not that bad. Nevertheless, that is not why we gather here, right? Let us push on to Monastery and hopefully find some good items along the way. You won't believe this, but doors were actually amazing with Bone Spear. You can just block the path and unleash absolute chaos on the other side. Bone Wall and Clay Golem took Andariel's attention, while I was doing what I do best, and Game, being an absolute joker, decided to drop me a unique Grim Wand, which is Ume's Lament, which is already better than what I have. Lady Luck is a cruel mistress, it seems. Jamali, you're up. With your Holy Freeze and my Bone Walls, we can slow down the entire world. I wonder if skeletons, when they look at the Bone Wall that I made, if there is any thought in their mind like, hey, it's Mike in there, I haven't seen him in a while. Anyway, here is me destroying Radamant. Bone Wall is also an excellent tool to soak up those pesky charge balls from the beetles. Just throw another Great Wall of China and pellet those bugs while hiding behind your creation. Bone Spear in normal was amazing in this place, but when it is also maxed in Nightmare, it just makes those tunnels walk in a park. Fangskin and his salamanders are basically helpless against the might of the Bone Zone. Once again into Talrasha's tomb we go, and green triangulated mail dropped, which is Hoanin's refuge. Duriel this time around is even more stupid, or enamored by my creations. He is relentlessly attacking the wall, and it is not interested in me at all. Gather the figurine for the quest and get the eye from the spiders. God damn it, game. One time, I ask one time, don't give me souls in this place. I am well into mid of Nightmare with Kalim's brain in my hand, and yet I am still to find base and runes for Inside Polar. Running into sewers, I got greeted with some angry fanaticism mosquitoes that were really eager to suck my blood, stamina and mana. And just after that, I found a pretty cool small charm. I taught Riftwing and his Gloombats a lessons. By the way, great name for a band, Riftwing and the Gloombats. And went down to get the heart. Council got destroyed, and for my prize I got a soul rune. Dolls with Might Aura. My favorite. Yes, more dolls! On all levels, why not? It took me about 20 minutes of wandering through Durance until I faced Mephisto, and once again, Bone Wall and Bone Spear is just an unstoppable combo, thus making Lord of Hatred completely disabled. Gate to Plane of Despair was just outside of town, and Isual was waiting for me once I passed him. Mephisto got walled off and finished. With the Soulstone destroyed, Hellforge rewarded me with a Lamb rune. Approaching Chaos Sanctuary, I had my doubts. I could be so much more powerful at this point, and yet, even with my basic set, I am truly unstoppable at this point. It really seems that Bone Necro does not need that much help from the items to be effective in mowing down entire groups of monsters together with those super uniques. Oh Diablo, you beautiful horny bastard. How many of my golems have you killed? I could open a clay factory here and now, Call the ambulance, boys! But not for me. Look, barbarian people, if you need more walls to get you through this siege, I got you covered. And it will be also super cool looking. Take a look, guys, you won't move. Like, there is no gate to hold them anymore. But no, we won't step outside. You need to cuddle us. Pretty cool that I found a file room randomly, yet I still cannot find a suitable polearm to actually do something with all those runes. I guess Fresh Socket did not expect to play in a bone maze, and he just gave up. You wanna see something stupid? Yeah? Let's open this and oh shit! Oh my god, Mala, just give me something, anything. I need to read, woman. I need my fix. Ah, that's the stuff. Not much to say about the Ancients fight this time around. They were just pierced with magic bones to their eventual death. Waves got beaten so severely that I will not even show most of them, as I bet they feel stupid right now. Bale cloned himself the first chance he had, so I sat in town, drank tea, talked to locals about their hobbies, and I returned. What the actual heck happened here? Did Kraken die and you all took all his appendages? In the end, all that was needed was some architecture degree and some patience, and Bale just could not stand to look at my fortress. Again, my build for Nightmare. Starting Hell at level 55 is generally not a great idea, but magic damage is so strong that there are still no issues with dealing with any threat. Of course, getting hit can be lethal at this point, so I am mindful not to rush this difficulty and take my time clearing and leveling, as I don't really want to go back to nightmares and farm terror zones. Underground Passage is the first place where you can encounter Misshapen, and those together with angry, deprived Vile Hunters are pretty menacing combination, and here is the prime example. My god, I am so cool. Shooting down everything and sitting here in my ivory tower. Run, Deckard, run! I got you covered, bro. Bone Loop seems to be very appropriate name for a ring for my Bone Zone Necro. Oh my, going through Black Marsh I found a superior bone weave with 4 open sockets. Shame that it is not ethereal. If this run wasn't going smooth enough, well, it's gonna be a lot smoother now, as I found one of the best mercenary weapons for this playthrough, Kelpie Snare. After getting to Monastery, I did some crafting for some better amulet, but with no luck. That said, I actually got a couple of upgrades from gambling. Andariel fight was... well, it was an Andariel fight, and because my merc has Kelpie Snare, she was slowed down to Stone Age and back half of the time, and could not do a single thing. Sup guys, fight against those bones, maybe you will find your long lost relative there. Such a refreshing feeling to not feel sick entering Maggot Lair, but rather mowing down the legions of beetles even in hell. Oh nice, Green Ogre Maul, a weapon from Immortal King's set. First time in a run I am encountering someone I actually cannot kill. Zombies in Lost City. Fortunately, they can be easily avoided and should be for that matter. Even worse was Claw Viper Temple, as Unravelers are also magic immune, so skeletons were constantly respawning, so I had to resort to mostly running. Damage is falling off a bit this time around, so drop like Mage Fist is extremely useful to at least boost my cast rate. Before fighting Duriel, I went on and did some farming, to boost my and Jamali's damage output and survivability. During the search I found a Dusk Shroud which is part of the Disciple set, which is quite strange. I should do a video with it. I also spent my whole supply of gems and runes to craft one decent amulet. Even Kuku Shakaku showed up. I have fond memories of this one as it saved my Enchantress run. Oh, casual Eye of Eldritch drop from the chest. Finally, I found a 5 open socket Thresher to make that sweet obedience. Now I would just need some good bases for armors and we are set. Although Monarch for Spirit Shield would also be nice. And sadly, the only decent base I found was Balrog skin with 3 open sockets. Problem is that I don't have a core rune to make a hustle, and for now the only rune word available to me is Myth, which is useless. So with the only good drop being an obedience base, I went back to Talrasha's tomb to eradicate the bug. You already know how this fight is gonna look like. I am giving you an endless maze to deal with and you die. Profit? No profit because you are Duriel and you are never dropping anything nice. I already know I am getting souls eventually, because why not? So additional 20 life never hurts. Explode every spider corpse to get to the eye and, well, what did I say? I only have 30% lightning resistance at this point, and even 2 souls can be problematic. So I did swap my amulet for the previous one. What is this map? The weirdest pathway to Flair's jungle ever. So I quickly got Gitbin and almost gave me an amazing ring, with 10% faster cast rate, fire resistance and additional life. Even though I didn't get a single thing from a bonfire huts, a random chest in Lower Kurast dropped me a Gull rune. Bone wall up
Boom!
in the ruined temple and defile the corpse of the dead, so I can grab Black Book for the last time. Sewers decided to spawn the worst possible combination of monsters, dolls and unravelers, so to my build it's just a death sentence. Really, I just run whenever possible until I got the heart. I don't really care about playing fair with council, they deserve to be punished. Lock them inside the prison and watch them getting pierced by spears of bone and getting shrapnel from the bodies of their own comrades. Also, I realized that I never upgraded the belt. Somehow that wasn't really holding me down. Durance was once again a place of pain and teeth getting dragged across the well-cleaned chalkboard. Dolls, ghouls and maulers. Total package. Fortunately, getting to level 3 did not take me that much time and I was standing before Mephisto in a couple of minutes. And the fight is like every fight in this build. It is way harder to get to the boss than fighting himself. For my effort, I was rewarded with Immortal King's Gauntlets. Oh god, I love doors so much. They save me so much time. And runs themselves. Why, game? Tell me why. This looked like some all-out lightning war between some D&D mages. Looking for Isual is much more dangerous than the Blue Fallen Angel himself, as you can see on the screen. Every area now is worse than the last one. Set has really fallen off in terms of damage and usefulness. I could replace those 3 slots with something much more powerful even in Nightmare. Even worse is the fact that I never found a Monarch, so I cannot create a Spirit Shield, so I am still running with the Ancient's Pledge that I created in Normal. Hi Hephasto. Bye Hephasto. With Hellsmith defeated, I was able to get a Pole Rune from the Forge. Finally, Chaos Sanctuary. Some of those pathways are just narrow enough that one corpse is all it takes to cascade explosions and get rid of the demon scum. That is a thing of beauty. Lord Deceased minions destroyed my minions, so the only thing to do, create an elaborate defenses and mow down everything while covering behind. Not sure what happened with Infector, but he was huddling in the corner away from his Venom Lords. So not thinking much, I just started blasting. Diablo was not interested in hitting my walls or my golem at all. He was just breathing lightning left and right, and he was still taking a lot of damage from the Bone Spear. Thankfully, he was defeated just in seconds, and as cruel as it is, he dropped me a gold wrap belt, which I cannot use. Again. Final act. So let's destroy the iconic farming duo for the last time first. In the Frigid Highlands I found a very nice large charm. +1 to fire skills and +19 to life. Kind of crazy. And another charm, this time in Crystalline Passage, but this one gets me +1 to curses, which I don't use. Well, and another rare find, Green Kraken Shell, which is Mavina's armor. Man, I am on fire! In the very same area I also found an elite base for my mercenary smoke armor. With the preparation done, it is time to end Ancients again. I did not even reset them, I just first tried them outright. It was that simple. Wall everything off to minimize damage done to my mercenary and just cast away. It was easier than ever. Yeah, what did I expect? I do not know. Sweet baby Jesus, what is this hellhole? Of course I am getting souls here and only magic immune monsters that can appear. Game, you are really testing my patience. Only Akmal the Cursed wave was somehow problematic. First we had to clear the skeletons and explode their bones so they won't be revived. Next it was encasing Horadrim Ancients together with my Merc in the Octagon and fight to the death, and then explode their bones. Bale in these challenges can be scary. He is quite tanky and can dish out damage surprisingly fast. Dying to him at last possible step is, well, hurtful. Not this time though. There was very little he could do against us, and thanks to my mercenary's power, he just took a couple of jabs from both of us until he met his death. My gear and setup for the last time. So, Infernal Tools is a good set. For normal, and probably only for Necromancer. Although initial damage from the set can be used as a melee source of damage, and barbarians wielding two of the wands can get benefit from the weird bonuses immensely, I would rather just get some rares or even magic weapons instead. That said, for the entire game those +2 skills were very useful and cannot be frozen, cannot be underestimated. However, for the price of 3 slots, of which 2 can be made to rune wards, you are not really getting much past normal. Additionally, in place of the set belt you can get Death's Set Sash, which by itself can get you Cannot Be Frozen, and later on Necromancer's own troll belt from the Triangle set. So I do not recommend using Infernal Tools for longer than you absolutely have to. Despite using those items, I was able to clear the game as Bone Necromancer relatively easily, especially up to Hell. Bone Spear, Bone Wall and Corpse Explosion is such an incredibly powerful combination that even with the low power bonuses, I did not have much trouble in the playthrough. Later on, with proper gear, Corpse Explosion can clear entire screen worth of enemies and is probably one of the most devastating abilities in the entire game. That is always great no matter where you are able to use it. This build is not the best boss killer, but it is also not incompetent in this regard, and much like summoners it is also very safe to play in hardcore, thanks to endless ways to wall yourself from danger, with the enemies like burning souls or ghosts being the only issues. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more games, reviews and challenges. Check out my other videos if you like this type of content. Like it if you like it and consider subscribing to my channel. Challenger departs.
Bone